Don't love me like that. I'm just messing with you. You can love me like that. What's going on, Luminators? You juggernauts. You're powerful and unstoppable. You know that, right? Hope everybody's doing well. Boston C here, above the sun.io, above the sun.io. Always musing news, below the sun news, markets, tweets, squeaks, blowhards, whistleblowers all across the globe. Just got back from the future above the sun. Figured markets are closed today, but crypto's never closed. It's open 24/7, 365. And we live outside of time anyhow. But so I thought I'd quickly look, see what it's up to, and read an article from Bitcoin Magazine on how to preserve and store wealth, So get yourself a cup of coffee, a donut, put me on pause. I don't take it personally. So let's do a little screen share, see what we got here. All right, kid, let's go right here. Share the screen. Nice. What do we got? So this is the daily Bitcoin chart. But before we do that, let's go see what the prices are first. We'll come back to it. All right, so the market cap is 1.16 trillion. Always good to stay over a trillion. And I remember when Boston Seagat in late 2017, market cap was at its low was 100 billion. So yeah, but it's going to be 100 trillion market cap. Unbelievable big. Nevertheless, Bitcoin's up 3.3% for the week. Ethereum 4.23. Those are the only two dances that I do. Speculation is always allowed. Never invest any more than you can afford to lose, right? Not financial advice, but Boston C is just a long term. I'll see in 2030. So yeah, if I'm dreaming, don't wake me up. Nevertheless, so we're slow and steady as she goes. Let's look at the Bitcoin chart. So this is the daily. If you're trading, swing trading, day trading, whatever you're doing, you'll always be considering what's going on in the daily anyhow, although traders typically go the shorter time frames, right? So this is your daily. It's trying to break up through the 50-day moving average, what the average price has been, which is 28,200. And but once we bust up back above that, if you look left, you can see we're at 31,000. So, once we get over 30, then it's, I think 40. And I'm not worried about how long it takes to get there. It's just a trading range to accumulate and stack Satoshis. So yeah, just could it break down from here, come down and hit the 200 day? Sure, which is what 20 what's the 22? Yeah, I'd be buying. I'd be a buyer, getting into a nice swing trade position. So anyhow, that's that. Let's go let's read a little something, an opinion piece from Bitcoin Magazine, the author. Let's see who this guy is. So again, an opinion piece, not Boston C, not above the sun. It's not our opinion, but it is Konstantin Rabin. It's his opinion. How I preserve my wealth with Bitcoin. I will explain why I allocate a share of my wealth to Bitcoin and how I see it as ideal for preserving the value of my net worth. It kind of gets my attention. So let's get in this deal. This is an opinion editorial by Konstantin Rabin, a finance and technology writer. Good old Bitcoin, the granddaddy of cryptocurrency, is increasingly being used as a reliable store of value for those looking to move away from the more established asset classes, as it has continually proven itself as a solid hedge against inflation, a hedge hedge against inflation. And we know that inflation is not prices going up. That's an expression of it, right? It's printing money out of thin air. We're in a Ponzi scheme and it's coming to an end. That's just the way it is because that's the right thing to do. In fact, this is something I've been doing for some time now. And in this article, I will explain why I allocate a share of my wealth to Bitcoin and how I see it as an ideal for preserving the value of my net worth. Why allocate a share of your wealth to Bitcoin? All right, well, let's take a sip of coffee and we'll talk about it. Despite the volatility and fear mongering, by the way, that's if you're a trader, that's you love volatility. I mean, but nonetheless, I digress. Despite the volatility and fear mongering that is prevalently posturized when talking about Bitcoin as a revolutionary investment vehicle, there is plenty to be said about why it is a valid contender in this market. It should be noted that no investor worth their salt would tell you to put your life savings into crypto. But where do you put it? But there is plenty of upside potential for those looking to make long-term returns or preserve a portion of their wealth this way. So what are you going to do with the other portion, bro? You're just going to let that go? Questions I ask, right? Let me just mention a few of these advantages that make this investment in Bitcoin worth looking more deeply into. Number one, everybody good? Alternative store of value. Bitcoin is as good as it gets when looking for a store of value outside of what? Third-party manipulation. Being decentralized means that it circumvents many of the red tape aspects and fees that come with leaving your money in the hands of financial institutions. As a result, it is not subject to the same inflationary pressures that are so prevalent with companies operating in the government-controlled fiat currency system and not having a go at anybody. It's just, we don't get individuals don't get to print money out of thin air, plant money trees in the backyard. So government shouldn't be able to do that either. Potential for long-term growth. No question about it. Indeed. There is no doubt that Bitcoin's value is extremely volatile in the short term. Yep. But its long-term trend has historically been a fairly bullish affair. The idea of holding, comes into play here, as you will really only be able to see the true value of your investment when ignoring the spikes and holding on for dear life. Yeah, you don't need to be looking in the news every day. I mean, Boston C takes the macro, so you can release some things and do something in the atmosphere to get rid of all the corruption that's been on the planet way too long. Into the smoke you go. Anyhow, it's all good. I'm not twiggered. Got to have that sense of humor, though. Diversification. As I said before, investing in Bitcoin does not mean that you dump all your hard-earned eggs in the chaotic basket that is crypto. Really? I'm in, but I got a little silver and gold. Hey, this is about Bitcoin. But you can provide some much-needed future-oriented diversification for your investment portfolio. As Bitcoin's prices increasingly uncorrelated to those of traditional assets, such as stocks, bonds, adding some of those digital coins to your portfolio can help spread out the overall risk. Ooh, lions and tigers and bears that your investments might face from the old wineskins. Get that new wine in you In fact, what we have seen over the past few years is that Bitcoin has become a new sort of semi-safe haven asset class, which many investors flock to the moment that old school investment vehicles and fiat currencies come under pressure. Nice, bro. I'm with you. You're selling me. I'm going from unaware to aware. Make sure you're establishing that credibility with me. Well, let's talk about accessibility. This goes down two lanes. On the one side, investing in Bitcoin is becoming much easier to do, with platforms and exchanges now offering a simple and secure way to buy and hold BTC, while at the same time, it has never been easier to liquidate this asset and get fiat cash in hand when the need arises. This scores a massive point over the stock, bond, or real estate markets. It's really good, which are forever plagued by liquidity issues, especially in times of large scale financial instability. Hello, everybody good? Everybody home? The light's still on? In the long run, spending a share of your income on BTC is unlikely to make you poor. On the flip side, not allocating anything to BC might ruin your prosperity, especially in these uncertain times when banks can go bust without warning. Inflation seems to be ever on the rise, and several countries witness their fiat currencies turn into toilet paper. We don't live in fear, just using wisdom. There's no fear here anywhere. Yeah, no. That's false evidence appearing real. You got to talk yourself down off the ledge. Manage, practice. Think and plan accordingly. Why I don't buy or mine BTC. What was it? In pursuit of acquiring Bitcoin, there are always the obvious channels of hitting up some form of cryptocurrency exchange or peer-to-peer marketplace and just exchanging fiat for BTC. While there is nothing wrong with this approach, and it might be the easy and perhaps the only option for many people out there, it is, in my humble opinion, not the best way to get your coins for wealth preservation. You can instead go the route of the miner and spend a large fortune on buying all the equipment needed to try and get some BTC that way. But in this day and age, with the average mining cost per coin being over 30,000 in many countries, it is more likely that you will end up with zilch long before you ever mine your first coin. Yeah, I like the sound of it, but I'm like, yeah, I'm out. So what would I suggest? Earn it. Sure, not everyone can convince their boss to pay them in Bitcoin, but these days, many people have a side hustle that can easily be employed in generating some digital dosh. 5 years ago, offering your clients the ability to pay in crypto for your services was a non-existent concept, but today it is a no-brainer. Right now, a large number of my clients, especially those operating in the online world, are really into paying for services via crypto. While most of them like to use stable coins such as USDT, which is a stable coin, you can easily flip these over to BTC and keep padding your Bitcoin wallet. One more notable online activity that I partake in is to stack some BTC is for the over 18-year-olds only. No, I don't mean OnlyFans. I do some work in and around the gambling industry and also enjoy a bit of a gamble myself from time to time, but I solely gamble for BTC. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll just leave that. Boston said, I like speculation, but I don't like to gamble. Unless I'm going to Vegas and expecting to lose some money. If I'm going to speculate, I'm in to win. Bitcoin betting sites have been gaining traction lately thanks to their ability to protect privacy, offer deals, blah, 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 general improvements over the annoying bureaucracy inherent in fiat betting sites. Yeah, I'm not a gambler online, so I get it. Some folks are making a lot of money, but most are getting their face ripped off. Obviously, I don't recommend gambling to anyone, but yeah, especially if you have like addicted personality type deal, right? But this is something I enjoy occasionally, such as when my favorite UFC fighter jumps into the octagon, as it adds a bit of excitement while watching the fights, and obviously the winnings are added to my wealth preservation BTC fund. So the gambling and the payout is in Bitcoin, which to me is no big deal because if you get paid in dollars, you want to quickly convert it anyhow. So what else? My BTC wealth preservation strategy. You might be wondering why I am hammering on Bitcoin and not paying much heed to the rest of the crypto path. Frankly, as most of the top tokens are following the Bitcoin price like a donkey chasing a carrot, this is true. I don't typically diversify things or allocate a share of my crypto investments into other major coins and tokens. Don't get me wrong, I believe that some of the cryptocurrencies out there are useful, but as Bitcoin is what determines the value of many of the top dogs on the list, sticking with BTC as my investment coin just makes sense. For those keen on diversifying into other crypto projects, I do have one bit of advice. Stay away from meme and the dunghill coins. So again, yeah, Boston C did a lot of speculation, hit a few, did well to offset the losers, but long term, you're just sticking with one and two. And if I'm going to speculate, then I'll go down. I'll go down the chain. But other than that, silver and gold and the physical Bitcoin ETH is the digital equivalent, in my opinion. But opinions are like noses, right? Everybody's got one. Usually a couple of holes in it. Mm-hmm. All right, kid. So now let's get down to business. All right. Been a long, yeah, it's long. I'll come back tomorrow. Love you guys. Just trying to make you laugh. Now let's get down to business. Here is my advice. And this is Broman's advice, not Boston C advice either. So here you go. Here is my advice for preserving wealth via Bitcoin based on my own strategy. The plan, whether you are investing with fiat currencies that you get from working a day job or getting paid directly in crypto via your own projects, make sure to have a well-defined goal. Set a certain annual or even quarterly amounts that you would like to reach and try your best to make it happen. Yeah, the way I think is I really believe anything you invest today, you're going to get a 10x is in your future, and I just leave it at that. So if you invest $100, I'm thinking the Omniverse for the $1,000 that I'm going to get 10 years from now. That's just me. You got to imagine it, desire with intention, all that stuff, right? Good technology. Have a well-defined goal, set certain annual quarterly amounts that you would like to reach and try your best to make it happen. Don't panic. Always work on increasing your BTC holdings and be ready to hodl long-term holding until kingdom comes. Well, it's already here. It's on the inside. Don't pay much attention to the fiat value and don't panic sell just because you see some of those crazy price swings that Bitcoin is so famous for. It is all good and well to compare exchanges and cryptocurrencies, but do not sit there stressing about where the price of BTC is setting. Stop looking at it every day. I mean, unless you're trading and you know what you're doing, just buy, hold, move on. Short-term dips are bound to come and go, but if you believe in BTC as much as I do, as much as Boston C does, then you can rest assured that your wealth is being preserved. Keep in mind that there are only 21 million BTC available ever, as this is a finite supply and the world's population is close to 8 billion. With more people being added every day, the value of this asset is sure to increase over time as more governments and people take hold of this new shift in finance. If and when fiat finally goes completely bust and Bitcoin takes over as a major currency, that it could go down like that, or the governments get some sense about them and will back it, get their worthless fiat currency, and then back it with commodities, and BTC would be part of that. Yeah, that would be phenomenal, but you can go this route as well too. All right, 8 billion people, with more people being at every day. The value of this asset is sure to increase over time as more governments and people take hold of this new shift in finance. If and when it completely goes bust and Bitcoin takes over as a major currency, and average BTC per capita in the world is going to be around 0.0025. And you most certainly want to be in the top 5% of those holding it. So imagine Bitcoin is what, 28,000 today. If you had one Bitcoin, you'd be one of only 21 million individuals that could ever have one, right? So if you got one, you're in the top 5%. So there you go. But that's not what it's about. Um, but yeah, this is uh, an amazing opportunity at this point in life. Keep it secure. Bitcoin is digital, and hackers are always on the lookout for those who are not keeping a watchful eye on their money. So, to preserve my wealth safely, I keep all of my Bitcoin holdings and hardware wallets stashed in a safe place. There are plenty of good exchanges and hot wallets to choose from, but if you are serious about preserving wealth, keep it cold, keep it offline. So when Boston C trades, I go to Coinbase, I get use my bank on ramp onto Coinbase, do the trade, exit the exchange of a Coinbase, put it back in my bank, take it out, and go back. And that's just what I do. Again, not financial advice. And when I say take it out, put it in a offline ledger, cold storage. Allocating a portion of your wealth to Bitcoin can be an effective way to preserve it and even grow it. But as the saying goes, the best time to start is yesterday. The second best time is now. Because what time is it? Oh, yeah, it's now time. That's right. Live in the now. Your past just passed 1 second ago and your future just showed up. Living in the now and every moment is every day eternal living. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. It's how the technology works. Hey, don't wait for Bitcoin to hit 50,000, but that's okay because, yeah, it's going to go a lot higher than that. Don't wait for Bitcoin to hit 50,000 before you suddenly wake up and start buying in. Set up a plan today and start diversifying your portfolio in this future proof asset class so you know your wealth is safe, no matter how bad your government might be. Yeah, it's a little biased. All right. Illuminators, you guys are awesome. Thanks for putting up with Boston C. Love you. Stay in the way, stay in the path. And until next time, Boston C. Up and away.